So now getting to the top of your backswing, okay? So from takeaway, so like Pete said, not moving the lower body, okay? So now what has to happen is now we have to learn how to get up and weightless so you can move back down on the ground. So from the start to the top of your backswing is always moving up and away, okay? So that means you have to have this up. You're not adding, if there was a scale on the ground, you need to be taking weight out of this scale. So not a lot of lower body. Now from here, these arms are gonna come, they're gonna lift up. As you're turning back, these arms are lifting up, and that's what's keeping them here. And now you're getting weightless, so that means this left hip, you're propping it up. You're just feeling like as a whole, your body's getting weightless and out of the ground. Now, when you do this, you have to turn your shoulders steep enough so we're not trying to stand up and weightless and get out of our posture here. So we have to turn our body steep enough that we're in our same spine angle pretty much as when we started. So just because we're getting up and weightless, we're pulling this right hip back away from the ball, but also away from the target. So we're transferring our weight just inside of our right heel, moving it back, pulling it back. Now we can start pulling our right hip back, arms up and weightless here. Moving, so we're not sliding over our right foot. We're not pulling it back here and looking like this. We're turning inside of our right foot, but turning and loading onto this back right foot while keeping our pressure out of the ground and weightless, okay? Now, while you're doing this, what's important to keep track of is something called trunk balance, okay? So what trunk balance is if you had a line on the front part of your body here, okay? On the top of your backswing, what I want to see is a lot of that body be on this side of that line. You don't want to see yourself get closer to the ball and go past this trunk balance line here, okay? So if we're going here and forward, it means your pressure is too much into the ground. You're not going to get a full backswing, and the only thing we can do from here is come up and out of it. So here's what you're trying to see. Like we talked about earlier, good trunk balance. We're out of the ground, no pressure in the ground, okay? What I want to see is your shoulders and your spine on that nice steep angle, pretty much the same as when you started. I want to see your right forearm, okay? It needs to be a little more horizontal towards the ground, okay? We don't want to see it vertical like this. That means this right shoulder has been pulled back into external rotation, okay? We don't want to see it here. We don't want to see these hands past your right shoulder, okay? This is too deep. This is going to get you stuck. What you want to see at the top of your backswing, you want to see these hands form a triangle pretty much right over your right shoulder, okay? You want to see this right forearm nice and vertical to the ground, okay? You want to see this club. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's a little laid off or a little across the line. That's not too big of a deal, okay? What matters is where these arms are. They have to be in front, nice and high, in front of your chest, and nice and far away from you, okay? They're not trying to be in close. They're not going to be deep. You need to see these hands as far away from you and up as you can get them, okay? Now from here, now there's range of motion to get them to shallow, okay? So that's just basic where you're trying to see the top of your backswing. This, both arms in internal, this right forearm a little closer to the ground, those hands right over your right shoulder and nice and high here, okay? Now we're gonna talk about transition.